We're in Toronto here, and there's a truck that's coming. It's filled with 200 baby pigs who are frightened, and we're gonna take a look now. The truck is just up the street there. Did you know that these pigs are going to a CO2 gas chamber? That's how these pigs are stunned just before they're slaughtered. So there's a truck there. That's Huron-Way truck. And it's filled with baby pigs. So the truck goes to the slaughterhouse here in Burlington, Ontario. It's called Fearman's Pork Incorporated. An apt name for the slaughterhouse. The gas chamber, you can see in the distance there. Yeah. So we have a number of activists here with Toronto Pig Safe, a group that started in late 2010, and we moved to Burlington, about 40 minutes outside Toronto, because the slaughterhouse in Toronto went bankrupt. So then we started going to Fearman's, and Fearman's kills 10,000 pigs a day. 10,000 pigs. There are 200 pigs per truck, so 50 trucks a day. So this is one of the trucks. There's a long set of lights. Unfortunately, this truck might get through, but we'll see. There's a truck carrying 200 pigs. Baby pigs. There we go. Hi, baby. Hi, sweetheart. Here, baby. We're so sorry. Sorry. You feel the heat coming out of this truck. Hey, baby. Hey, little one. We're so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So the truck is now going towards the slaughterhouse. That's Fearman's Pork Incorporated. We're in Burlington, Ontario at a pig vigil. And the pigs are now going to be unloaded into a pen area. And once they're in the pen area, they'll be waiting, and it's to be marched, with electric prods hitting them and their backside, sometimes in their face, because the pigs are following one another in a single file in a narrow corridor towards a Ferris wheel-like contraption. So they go into an elevator-like mesh, and then it's like a Ferris wheel, and they go down towards the basement because carbon dioxide gas is heavier than air. And the carbon dioxide is to suffocate the pigs and sort of stun them. So the pigs are, when they gas their first breath of air with CO2, they're fearful, they feel discomfort in their lungs, their respiratory system. And it takes about two or so minutes for them to be stunned, but some of them aren't stunned, some of them are still kicking around, and so some of them wake up when they're being slaughtered. There's a knifer called a sticker who slices their throats, and some of the pigs are conscious because they wake up. and they're hung upside down on one of their back legs. The sticker then slits their throat, and then they move along this mechanical sort of elevator, and then go up to a scalding tank. And again, some of the pigs wake up when they're in the scalding tank and they try to swim, and it just with their throat slit already, and it's an absolute nightmare. Even the industry admits that 2% of the pigs wake up in the scalding tank. So there's another truck coming. It's like I said here, 50 trucks a day. 10,000 pigs are killed each day. See, that truck is standing back, does not want to come forward because they have something to hide. Why is that truck not coming forward? They don't want us to bear witness or see what's happening.
Smash that heart button.
Thanks for joining. ER, Yazistar. Yes, this is so depraved. Thank you for joining. Thanks, Bridget, for your comments. We appreciate it. Please let your friends know so they can bear witness. So we're getting some support from drivers. Please let your friends know. Share this YouTube video. Subscribe to Animal Safe Movement, please. We have vigils around the world. We have 300 groups in 36 countries doing this. So currently we're here in Burlington, Ontario, Canada. And here's another truck, but he might get through. What's the fucking... So we have a number of activists here who are trying to bear witness. And we have a couple of marshals there. It's in the morning that it's really busy with the trucks, because they start slaughtering early in the morning. So some of the activists are engaging with the drivers and giving them some literature. That's Lori up front. She organizes the Burlington Veg Fest. I think there have been 3 already, and they're right by the lake here in Burlington. She's a devoted activist. She does AV, Anonymous for the Voiceless, where they do they show screens. They have screens in downtown Burlington and show what happens in slaughterhouses. So they do what's called, vegan outreach. She's just very active with all the different groups, and she's been very active with Toronto Pig Safe for the last few years. It really smells here. See that tank truck that just went by? It smells, I think it could have been a blood truck. It smells really, really bad. The smell of blood is just horrible. I've been in a rendering plant called Rothsay in Dundas, Ontario, and it smells really bad.
She's vegetarian.
Let's turn
and
around.
that little part there, she's like, I'm really vegetarian, and I told her about the slaughterhouse in Toronto, that kills dairy cows, and she's like, it's the same as, I was vegetarian for a long time. I didn't think about it. So in that little 2 minutes I got there, I told her about the egg industry and the dairy industry, that they are the meat industry. And if you want to oppose this violence, you need to go vegan. And I said, it's super easy. Here's a resource. So I got a resource card that has Dominion and all the resource challenges.
Well, yeah, very nice. Very nice.
You show up Just one, for a few hours,
Exactly.
and you're ready to touch people that just don't know.
Brilliant.
I don't believe that people are just bad people or they just don't care. They just
No,
are not
no.
tuned into what we know.
Exactly. And 2 cars so far have been vegans.
Oh, you see, it's changing.
It is changing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel that. And 2 other cars took the cards.
Exactly. No,
So-
it's not. It's not a hopeless cause. I always think of it too, is you don't have to get everyone, but there's so much people that just don't know, and then you give them that information, and before you know it, this will be the new normal. Veganism will be the new normal because
Exactly.
it aligns with animal lovers, right?
Yes.
We just have to break that conditioning. Yeah, you'll take one.
That's a really nice campaign that's happening around the world. Thank you so much.
Have you tried plant-based milk? Have you tried oat milk, or have you tried plant-based milk? Like which one? Like oat milk or coconut milk? Yeah, don't drink dairy milk. It's not, they suffer a lot. Thank you. Yeah. Hi. Oh, the police are here. Okay, we'll see what's happening there. Thanks, Mel and Steve, for joining us. We really appreciate it. You're absolutely right. People just don't know what happens to animals that end up on their plates. And yes, let's make a change. Nathaniel Roach said, I've done AV, or Anonymous for the Voiceless, before. There are chapters around the world that do outreach in downtown areas. They hold screens and show footage, because a lot of people are not going to come here. This is out, sort of north of downtown. But if you go to downtown with a lot of people, you can show them what happens inside slaughterhouses. So I don't know if the police are leaving, but occasionally they're called, and we generally have good relations, and just tell them what we're doing, and things are okay. But so right now is rush hour, and it's a good time to be here at the slaughterhouse because the trucks have to stop at these long set of lights. Sometimes they get through, but generally we're able to witness the pigs and the trucks before they go to this infamous Fearman's Pork Incorporated. It's a pig slaughterhouse in Burlington, Ontario, Canada, and they kill 10,000 pigs a day in a carbon dioxide gas chamber. Most people don't know that pigs are killed or stunned in a gas chamber, CO2 gas chamber, and they suffer enormously. Their respiratory discomfort, their fear, their gasping for air, because carbon dioxide at high concentrations is poisonous. And so what happens in this slaughterhouse is they enter a Ferris wheel-like elevator, and the workers use electric prods to race the pigs into the elevators, and sometimes they hit their faces, like they hit their backsides, but the next pig is right behind, so they often hit the other pig in the face, in their eyes, in their ears, and their snouts, which are really sensitive. So it is so this method is full of torture and suffering for these poor animals, and the carbon dioxide, the pigs are trying to escape, like they're trying to breathe, And sometimes they violently try to escape, because there's a few pigs in each elevator, and they're just on top of each other, just putting their snouts up high, because there's more oxygen high, as they're going down into the basement, with carbon dioxide being heavier than regular air. They're all just trying to, lift their snouts up, and they're, extremely fearful and suffering, and they can't escape. They're in these compartments, and it stuns the pigs in two or so minutes. But some of them, they've taken a deep breath beforehand, or they're stronger, and some of them are not stunned. Some of them are still kicking around when they exit, and there's a worker that shackles one of their back legs and then hangs them up upside down, and then they're moved along on this mechanical contraption. And there's a stickler who sticks a knife in their throat, and they start bleeding, and then they go higher to a higher floor where they're thrown into a scalding tank to loosen their hair. And some of the pigs wake up, and they're trying to swim out of a boiling tank of water. And there's so much suffering and exploitation in killing these innocent, intelligent, beautiful, individual pigs. They all are individuals, just like you and I. They all have their own personalities. They have their mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers and friends. And this is what happens to them. And it just, you don't have to be a part of it. And Leo Tolstoy, he was this famous Russian author. He believed in duties, moral duties. And we have a moral duty to not participate in the killing of other beings. So thou shalt not kill, applies to animals. The golden rule applies to animals. Bearing witness, the moral duty to bear witness, which means not looking away, but coming close as you can, and trying to help. That's a moral duty. So moral duties are about doing what's right in the present. It's not about I'm so busy right now, but maybe when I retire, I'll help animals, because that's what I really care about. I want to help animals. Well, moral duties are about doing what's right in the present. And we can all do that. We're eating 3 times a day, hopefully, and we can influence our friends, our family, our workplaces, universities, schools, hospitals, prisons, every institution. So you can make a difference. So I'm really glad to be live streaming today. And I just wanted to thank Dave, who's a 40-year-old vegan on YouTube. He introduced us to Mel and Steve, and they do live streams at slaughterhouses and encourage it around the world. Project Livestream. And so we've started doing live streams. And I just wanted to thank you for joining and to say here. So my name is Anita Crines, and I'm one of the organizers of Toronto Pig Safe, also executive director of the Animal Safe Movement, and we have about 300 groups and chapters for Animal Safe Movement around the world in 36 countries. So please subscribe to our Animal Safe Movement YouTube channel. And so there's a truck that's going to come shortly. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel and go to our website, Animal Safe Movement, if you're interested in joining us at vigils. We have a section act now where you could sign up, and you can join a welcoming call. So if you'd like to join an existing animal vigil, or if you'd like to start an animal safe group, get in touch with us, because we'd like to have vigils at every single slaughterhouse. We feel that if people start bearing witness, it'll help end the industry, because shining light on this industry will help end it. We also have a new campaign called Spotlight campaign. It's called Slaughterhouse Industry Spotlight, and we're trying to spotlight all aspects of this industry, including how they use carbon dioxide gas chambers to stun pigs. In the UK, 88% of the pigs are killed or are stunned by using CO2 gas chambers. Here in Canada, all the big slaughterhouses for pigs use carbon dioxide gas chambers. made by Butina. It's a company in Denmark. So I'm just going to turn the camera now because we have a truck that's coming. So thank you for joining us. We're here live streaming with Animal Save Movement, and the local chapter here is Toronto Pig Save. We really appreciate you joining us. We do regular live streams now at when we do vigils at slaughterhouses, because we all have a moral duty to not look away when another being is suffering. Our duty is to come close and try to help, in the words of Leo Tolstoy. So here we have a third truck since we've been doing this vigil, starting at 8:45 here in Eastern Time. Just wanted to thank you all for joining. Please, subscribe to this video, subscribe to this channel, share it, because the more people that see what's happening, the more light that we shine on this industry, the fewer people that will be participating in, killing these innocent animals. We don't need to eat animals. There are healthy plant-based forms of protein. We don't need to do this. So it's a very long set of lights. We hope that this truck will stop at the next set, when the lights turn. So here we got Lori waiting. There's the truck coming. Little one. Nice, sweetheart. They have a blue mark for slaughter. Blue mark there. They were spray painted for slaughter. This pig is 6 months old. Just a baby. And they're all lying down. They must be tired. And we love you. We love you, little angel. We love you. You're such a sweet, innocent angel. We love you. We love you so much. The truck is now moving. Heading forward. See what we can do here. So another pig there. Oh. It's going through a red light. Because they don't want light shone on what's happening. That truck just went through a red light. There. Who did you see in that truck? An individual who wants to live. So someone says eat more meat. Yes, eat more vegan meat. Eat more nut meat. You don't need to eat animal protein. Eat more bacon, eat more bacon. Well, you can have plant-based bacon, Phil. You can have, coconut bacon. Do you know that bacon is a, carcinogen according to the World Health Organization? Phil, we want you to live. We don't want you to have, get, non-communicable disease for no reason, just because you're what you eat or who you eat. No need to do that. Okay, you love bacon, sausage, scalpel. Again, there's vegan versions of vegan sausages, such as there's many. So you can try Beyond Meat, for example, or field roast. Can't forget about pulled pork. Again, there are vegan versions of that. Nathaniel says, why? When you can be more compassionate and loving, there's no need for suffering. Exactly. No need for suffering and exploitation. Thou shalt not kill applies to our animal brothers and sisters. There's no need to kill them. It's not vegan SI whatever, moose shit crew. Talking about shit, moose shit. Did you know that shit enters the meat in the slaughterhouse? Like, did you know that there have been studies of meat in supermarkets and it has shit? It's quite common. Just Google it. So moo shit, don't eat shit. Peter Harrington, I love pigs, the best animals. You get pork chops, bacon, ham, roast. Stop eating animals when Dad asked me not to eat them. So, and again, you can have plant-based versions of this without shit contaminating it, as you do with, you know, chicken flesh, cow flesh, etc., pig flesh. But anyways, I appreciate you all joining us. Marie says hi. Hi, how are you? Yeah, so we're holding a pig vigil, Forest. So we have animal vigils around the world. Animal Safe Movement has 300 chapters in 36 countries. Currently, we're here in Burlington, Ontario, Canada. Thank you for joining us. Keep an open mind. Try to eat healthier. Did you know that dark leafy greens, such as kale, spinach, chard, are the most nutritious food on the planet in terms of nutrients per calorie? They're at 100. Then if you go to fruits, it's down, 80, 60, whatever, something like that. Then nuts and tofu and beans around 40 or so. Then, dairy is really down at 16 and cookies are 0. So if you want to eat nutritious food, try to have dark leafy greens every day. I have a green smoothie every day and it's changed my life. It's given me so much energy. Your mother may have told you to eat cabbage. She was right. Cabbage is in the cruciferous family, and that's at 100 in terms of nutrients per calorie. So eat cabbage, whether it's raw or cooked. Eat broccoli, cauliflower, kale, chard. These are all at 100. So Marv says, what do you eat? Vegan salami? I'm more of a whole foods person. But you can get vegan salami. That's not something I'm really into, but yeah, you can get Beyond Meat, you can get field roast. It's certainly better than flesh from animals. It's healthier than flesh from animals. The meat industry did a big propaganda campaign and try to make it sound like alternative to meat products are not healthy. It's not true. They're healthier than meat, dairy, and eggs, which is full of saturated fats and antibiotics, and sometimes it's contaminated with shit. Just Google it. Because at the slaughterhouse, when they're killing these animals, there's shit and blood and all over, and the products are, the so-called animal flesh products are very contaminated. So Forrest says, no thank you, you mentally ill. Actually, that's quite funny that you say that. So that's how you argue. Like, you have to engage in personal attacks because you don't have an argument. So can you do better than that, Forrest? Come on, come up with an argument instead of name calling. I'd like to argue with you on facts. Okay. Oh, that's good. Marie Phillips added that cows, pigs have worms. That's true too. Thank you for that. Data lost. I mean, we definitely need to treat animals that are eaten better. Gotta respect the animal or giving itself in the circle of life. Data lost. We don't need to eat animals. I've been vegan since 2005. And that was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. Have you tried like meat-free Mondays? Just go, start with a day. Replace, say beef in a chili with beans. Did you know how healthy beans are? They have soluble fiber, and they clean your blood vessels of cholesterol. Meat does the opposite. It fills your blood vessels with cholesterol, and you're more likely to get heart disease and cancer. So please, Data Lost, try. You're very compassionate, and you want animals to be treated better. The best way to treat animals is not by not killing them, by not hurting them. That's the best thing you can do. And I know you're a compassionate person, so, please help us. The average person eats 100 animals a year. That's just land animals plus fish on top of that. So Data Lost, you could save 100 land animals a year just by going plant-based. You can start, like I said, with meat-free Mondays, plant-powered Fridays. Please join us. Hannibal says, attack the argument, not the person. That's the first thing you said I've agreed with. Okay, well, thanks. Thanks, Cannibal. I'm glad we agree on that. Crawfish. It sounds like you're out of breath. Well, talking in my own stick to meat. Okay, am I out of breath? I don't know. It's a bit stressful being on this traffic island here and seeing the animals and, so if I'm out of breath, maybe it's because I'm a bit, anxious. Okay, appear, despair, disappear. CO2 is food for plants, lots of laughs. That's true. Yeah, like, did you know beans are nitrogen fixing? They take nitrogen out of the air. They're one of the best plants for soil fertility. I've been reading a lot about permaculture recently and veganic farmings, which is organic farming plus it's vegan. So no manure, no artificial fertilizer. And the way they do it, for example, is by growing a lot of plants from the pea family and the legume family. And plants like, say, red or white clover and chicory, they can be used as green manure, so they cover the soil. The roots of chicory can go 1.5 meters down and take nutrients from the subsoil. So often when you plant green manure, what you're doing is you're relying on these amazing pea and legume plants to build and preserve soil health. So there's another truck coming. So there's just one truck after another. I'm not sure we're going to see this truck because we might. It's a green light now, so we'll see. Here's Varun. He's our social media person. There's Jenny and Lori. And then we have some people across there. For some reason I'm not getting a good shot of it. That's better. They're saying hi. They're saying hi. 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 Grunting to us. Hi. Hi, Angel. How are you, Angel? We love you. They're so beautiful. They're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. We love you. Saying hi. Saying hi. Hello. Hi, Angel. We love you so much. Thank you. The Massey truck stopped. The driver was nice enough to stop and not rush through the lights. But that pig, that grunting sound is a high, sort of high sound. They make many different sounds. They have their own language. Thank you. We're getting some support from the passerby. Some support us, some don't. But thank you for joining us. We're in front of a pig slaughterhouse called Fearman's Pork Incorporated, aptly named Fearman's. So Calder says yummy. They smell really bad. They smell sickly. And when they're slaughtered, it's just a nightmare. They're like 6 months old. They're screaming. You're eating pain. There's nothing yummy about it. It's quite sad. And then Dylan says, look at all that bacon. When you see another animal, what do you see? A person with a personality, an individual, or just a commodity, just a thing, not worth nothing. So those are two different worldviews, Dylan. And I hope you cross over into a new worldview someday where you see animals as individuals, beautiful individuals. They bring so much happiness. I don't know if you've ever had a companion dog or cat, or if you've ever visited a sanctuary. The pigs in sanctuaries are so happy and they make you so happy. I think there's another truck. Unbelievable. So Justin says, look at those losers. Go get a job, you bums. Justin, what are you doing right now? Are you at work? You're on this YouTube. Thank you for joining us. This is my job. I'm very lucky. I'm executive director of Animal Safe Movement, and we have 36 countries with chapters. And this is the best thing that I've ever done in my life is, working for animals, animal rights, and also for plant-based policies and trying to fight climate change with diet change, Justin. This more people should be working in this field. ER says go vegan. Thank you, ER. How long have you been a vegan, ER? I've been vegan since 2005, and it's the best decision, one of the best decisions of my life. Ivan says, that reminds me to get to the store to get my bacon. Thanks for the reminder. So try vegan bacon, Ivan. You don't need to hurt animals. You don't have to be violent in your life, and kill and torture other animals when it's healthier to eat plant-based protein. Try beans, try all these. Anyways, there's another truck coming. Data Blast says, damn, that's sad. Marie Phillips says, that's really sad. River says, I'm sorry for the nasty comments. Okay, so yeah. So this truck might get through. There's a green set of lights. Looks like they're gonna get through. But we might get a second here with the pigs, so we'll see. Thank you. This pig is frothing at the mouth. We love you. We love you, little angel. We love you. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. Beautiful. This is a great sign. Thank you for joining us. We're at a pig vigil in Burlington, Ontario, Canada. Just a pig truck just drove by, had 200 pigs in the truck. We're outside a slaughterhouse called Fearman's Pork Incorporated. They kill 10,000 pigs a day. That's like a village. 200 pigs a truck, that's 50 trucks a day. And these 10,000 pigs, they have numbers on them, but are they numbers? Are they just commodities, or are they individuals with rights, with their own personalities? Those are two different views, two different worldviews. And I'd argue that the view that these animals are just property and commodities is why we have a climate crisis, why we have a public health crisis, why we have an environmental crisis. There's a saying by Leo Tolstoy, he's this Russian author, he says, when you treat others, when you treat others, in a harmful way, you're really doing evil to yourself. And that's what's happening to our planet. It's going to hell in a handbasket, with increased greenhouse gas emissions, methane emissions, deforestation, just because people are eating more and more meat, dairy, and eggs. And we need to reverse that. Think of your grandparents or your parents and how much meat they ate. Now we eat more meat. Post-war, factory farms started emerging everywhere, and meat became cheaper. And now people are getting sicker. The climate is getting worse. Eutrophication of the lakes, ocean acidification, all these things. So you can make a difference. So let's see some of the comments here. So Mel and Steve say live vegan, defend animals. Thank you. Thanks. So please follow Mel and Steve on YouTube. They have a project called Project Livestream. They live stream outside slaughterhouses, and that's why we're live streaming here today. Thanks to them. Colder says you need meat plant protein. It's not the same. Okay, that's not true. Plant protein is superior to meat protein. So where do animals get their protein? So cows eat grass. Grass is an amazing source of protein for the cows. Hippopotamuses and gorillas, they're plant-based. They're probably stronger than you are, Calder, and certainly stronger than I am. They're fully plant-based. So it's not true that meat protein is better. And you don't need it. I've been vegan since 2005. It's been amazing. So Dee Dee says, what if someone tries to push satanic rituals on you? Would you like it? I don't understand the context of that comment. Of course one would not like it. So Calder says animals are food, not people. No. So Calder, do you think you're part of the plant species world or part of the animal species world? What do you think you belong to as a human being? You're a mammal. You're part of the mammal species. You're an animal. So are you food? No, you're not food. Animals don't need to be food. Animals like cows, they eat grass and other, plants. Gorillas eat plants. We have a choice. We do not have to eat meat, and it's very unhealthy and destructive to the planet. So YH says, yeah, save lives, save the earth. Born to be free says they have the right to be chops or bacon. No, that's not a right. When you exploit and suffer, when you're doing that to another being, that's not a right. That's the opposite. So if you want to understand what rights are, like human rights, animal rights, they derive from, in the Western tradition, they derive from being individuals and having their own personality. That's where rights come from. The idea that you're all individuals and you all have some basic rights. So in the Western tradition, it's political and civil rights. The right to security of person, the right not to be confined, the right not to be tortured. And then there's also social and economic rights that came more from, the Eastern tradition. The right to shelter, the right to food. And then there's a second generation of rights, the right to a clean environment, the right to, sustainable development, things like that. So somebody, I don't know who that is, says, get a job. I do have a job, thank you. I have the best job, in my opinion, working to help animals and save the environment. MF says, meat rots your teeth. That's true, rhymes too. Thanks, MF. It smells like poop in your gums. Okay. Frankie says, boxed cereal, candy, the milk, pasteurized and homogenized processed meat, the amounts of soda. I don't understand that one. Amino acids are amino acids, born to be free. Anyway, so eat, let's see, cold, if you are stronger, why, cold, YouTube says, if they are stronger, why are they on the truck? They're on the truck because humans put them on the truck. And, it is part of the philosophy, might makes right. There's no ethics in it, is there? We're treating those pigs like commodities. They have serial numbers on them. Their ears are clipped to identify which farm they're from. And that's just about, treating pigs as objects. But they're not objects, just like you're not an object. How do you feel when, somebody else treats you like an instrument, like just in an instrumental way for some of their own designs? It feels predatory, doesn't it? It feels like somebody's just using you. So in ethics, everybody wants to be treated as an end in themselves. You want to be treated for your intrinsic value. And so the same with these pigs. Right now we treat them as means to an unholy end. And it's hurting us, it's killing our planet, and it's really leading to a public health crisis in terms of epidemics and diabetes and heart disease and cancers, all mostly caused from meat, dairy, and eggs. Food is the number one contributor to those kind of non-communicable diseases. So MF says these people will never get laid. Born to be free says identify as an alien. And then MF says it's easier to slaughter carrots, not pork. Nick Davies says other animals eat mammals, but we don't have to, right? So we have a choice, and we're eating so much meat, dairy, and eggs per capita. Did you know that in 1980, the average person on the planet ate 30 kilograms of meat a year? 30 kilograms in 1980. In the 2020s, 40 years later, it went up 50% to 45 kilograms per person on the planet. So, think of your parents, think of your grandparents, think of your great-grandparents. They did not eat meat like people do today. And as a result, we're having an environmental crisis, deforestation to grow animal feed and for grazing of animals. We're suffering public health crisis. Did you know that type 2 diabetes used to be called adult onset diabetes? But now, because of people eating so much meat, dairy, and eggs and processed foods, even children are getting it, and so they renamed it to type 2 diabetes. Did you know that autoimmune disease used to be an adult disease? But again, because people are eating so much meat, dairy, and eggs and processed food, it's now children are getting autoimmune disease, like lupus. So you could check out, if you know anybody with an autoimmune disease, please check out Goodbye Lupus. It's by Dr. Brooke Goldner. She's a vegan physician, and she's also a trauma psychiatrist. Please go to her Instagram and YouTube. It's called Goodbye Lupus. And if you know anybody with autoimmune, she could help reverse it. So Meat for Eat says, I'll be in a tree this afternoon hunting my food. Okay. So you know how you can hunt your food? You could grow trees with nuts. So I've been reading a lot on permaculture, and a lot of permaculture depends on growing forests and eating the food in the forest and combining forests with regular fields where you grow perennial crops. So like acorns and walnuts and all these nuts. So why don't you hunt that way? Meat for eats. You can be nut meats for eats. Be a nut. Travis Kane says, no, it's not. There's more cows alive today because we eat them. Yeah, there's more cows alive. There's literally billions of cows. Travis, how many people are on the planet currently? Human beings. It's about, it's above 8 billion or something like that. 8 billion. How many land animals are killed every year? Is it more than 8 billion? More than the number of people? Yes. It's about 100 billion. And people are currently starving. There's more people facing malnutrition. As the number of animals is going up and up, as we're killing more animals, more and more people are going hungry. That's because we have food, lots of food to feed animals, land animals, but not enough food. We don't feed people, which is, travesty. Lloyd Davis says, we're omnivores, so hunting is a part of life. People are delusional about farming, thinking that eating animals is cruel, when in fact it's not like they live a better life than I do. Oh, Lloyd, I hope you live a better life than farmed animals. I don't think you have any idea how much they suffer, if that's what you're saying. Did you know that mother pigs are confined in a crate? They can't even turn around. Lloyd, are you able to turn around? Are you confined in a small crate? Their babies are taken away from them. If you have children, can you imagine your children being taken away from you? So Lloyd, you're not a victim here compared to the land animals. If you have a hard life, I'm sorry, but I think you should try being plant-based, and that's something that might improve your life vastly. Okay. Frankie asked, what do you eat for protein? So I have beans. I love beans. Like, I have a pressure cooker. It's really cheap. Like today, last night I made chickpeas in a pressure cooker. I make squash soup. Sometimes I put the beans in there. I also have like nuts and seeds. So I like walnuts are really healthy. They have omega-3, which is really healthy. And then there's protein in plants. So like kale has a lot of protein. There's another truck coming. So anyways, I appreciate all the comments. Thank you for commenting. Even if we disagree, I like to have an argument or engagement. So thank you everyone for being part of this. So we're here in Burlington and we're bearing witness to these animals. So there's another Massey truck. Thank you for joining us. It's very... Hi, babies. Hi, angels. Hi, angels. Hi, angels. We love you. Hi, angels. We love you. We love you very much. We love you very much. We love you very much. We love you. We love you very much. It's tough, isn't it? Thanks. Please keep an open heart and Mr. Sniffle says bacon. You know, they're not a thing. There's an activist there, a new activist who came, and he's sort of tearful. He's great. He's there with. That's amazing. That's his first vigil. He's not even across the street, and he's crying. Anyways, people like him give me hope. Yeah, people like him give me hope. So, really appreciate it. It's really beautiful when people care so much. It's really moving. Thank you. Yeah, some of the comments are awful. He's crying because he has to. He's crying because he cares. It's says too much estrogen in a system. Do you really, BRS BAM? Do you really believe that men should not cry? That's like it's not a great. I mean, if you were brought up that way and then you have feelings and you want to cry, it's not good for you, is it? So don't. If you were brought up that way, please don't bring your own children up that way. Boys and girls can cry and can be emotional. It's a beautiful, it's a great thing. So many nasty comments from selfish people with no empathy. So I would hope that the people who are making nasty comments are engaged and they're thinking about it, and they're people cope in different ways. So Captain Patriot says pork chops, yum, steak way better. Real men don't have feelings about eating pork or beef. Captain Patriot, I'm sure you have feelings. I'm sure you appreciate it when other people have feelings towards you. Some of us have electric cars, so we are okay. Electric cars are not enough. Walk by faith. Did you know the number one thing an individual can do to reduce their carbon footprint is to go plant-based? So please consider it. Really appreciate it. Electric cars are awesome as well. So Travis Kane says, what do you plan to do with all the animals? So Travis, great question. The first thing is stop the breeding. So did you know that cows are basically raped, artificially impregnated? Stop the breeding. Stop the breeding of the pigs. That's the number one thing. There are wild pigs, wild boars. Let's protect those. Thank you, MF said you shouldn't be breeding. So someone said, let's see, Frank Aguilar said, I don't care about what you eat, so why do you care what I eat? Stay in your lane and mind your own business. Okay, great comment. So I'm not a nihilist. I feel I have responsibilities towards other humans, i.e. human rights, so I will try to fight for human rights. I believe I have responsibility towards the earth, therefore I will fight for earth rights. I believe that animals, our fellow beings, deserve to be protected and have rights, so I'll fight for their rights. So Frank, I don't want to live in a world where I don't care about anybody else but myself. I would call that sociopathic. Think about it. I'm sure you care about things. I would foster those ideas within you. So Bullseye Concrete Services, wild boars are invasive? No, not necessarily. I think try to live in a system where there were wild boars all over the planet. So how do we How do we live with that? I think that's part of the framing of the animal farm industry. Wheezy 710, what about babies? Do they have rights? Do you support abortion? You won't answer for a reason. Good question. I think there should be an emphasis on birth control. Nobody wants to have an abortion. It's hard for the woman, and it's just I think there should be support for birth control. That would be what I would focus on. Gordon Hubbard says, yes, we care about humans, you walking veggie. Walking veggie, that's a funny term. Very funny, Gordon. Dependable ninja, maybe you just protect the animals you can handle, just a few, and they'll be safe. You mean like companion animals? But I think we have a responsibility beyond that. And also the earth is dying. We're going to hell in a handbasket because of the animal industry, farmed animal industry, the slaughter industry. Deforestation in the Amazon is caused primarily by the animal agriculture industry, forests, precious forests, beyond belief. Like there's no money that could pay for how precious the rainforests are, but they're being cut down for grazing land and to grow animal feed, like soy, for chickens and pigs in China and Europe. It's an absolute travesty. I have a friend, Shiva, in Scotland. He's in a town called Fife, and he's calculated how many millions of pounds of animal feed come to Fife for the 1 million chickens and the thousands of cows from the Amazon. It's real. It's real. Like we're importing animal feed from the Amazon for what used to be the Amazon or the grasslands as well. So how much more deforestation if we all went vegan? So Travis Kane's good question. So there was a study by Joseph Poor at Oxford University that found that if everyone went vegan, we could save 3/4 of the land that's used for farming right now. So right now we use let me get this number right. I think it's 4 billion hectares of land for farming, 4 billion hectares. If everyone went vegan, it would be 1 billion hectares. So Travis, we could reforest and rewild the earth if people went vegan. Okay, Alexander Bastos says they are clearly grateful for that. That's what makes them so important for the almighty God creation. There's a famous Canadian who said the Bible's like a fiddle. You can play it any way you want. There's a progressive wing of Christianity and a less progressive, more conservative. But there might be some common ground. All the different Christianities with respect to being opposed to war, but in some cases not. There's been plenty of Christianity in support of war and support of slavery when it happened. But there's different types of different readings of Christianity, and there's certainly one of stewardship, and there's some religions like Seventh-day Adventists, which is a sect of Christianity, and they're vegetarian. So it's very rich. Like if you look at religions, they have many different types. All right. So we have lots of comments. I'm sorry if I'm not keeping up and missing some of these great comments. So Ian Watson says, and that's a false cause. You have to use the land for farming to actually feed people. The vegetables you have to grow in mass quantity. I don't quite understand your comment, but so if you are plant-based, then you don't have to grow animal feed, and animal feed wastes a lot of land, and then grazing land wastes a lot of land. So if people went vegan, you could save 3/4 of the land, or 3 billion hectares. Bacon sandwich with pork chops on the side, says RS Banff. Again, try vegan bacon and pork chops. I'm trying to think what vegetable works really well that has the texture of pork chops. If someone can help me with that. There are some vegetables that work very well. Colin Marshall says vegan's the other grass-fed meat. So when you call somebody meat, Colin, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing ethically? You're trying to objectify somebody, to reduce them. So do people treat you that way sometimes? They just objectify you, look at you as a thing, as a number, not as a person, not as an individual. So that's the opposite of human rights when you treat other people that way. So Colin, treat others as you'd like to be treated. The golden rule. Maybe that will make your eyes go straight rather than up. So Alan Jenrud says the ham sandwich is delicious. Yeah, try vegan ham. No need to try carcinogenic ham. Did you know that bacon and ham are carcinogenic? I don't know if you know that, but the World Health Organization said it was. So Alan, no need to, have heart disease, cancers, other things. So they're doing some great outreach here. Thank you. Awesome to see. So Ian Watson says also plants don't like to be eaten. There's alive too. That's why you have to cook certain plants. Yeah. So, but the thing is, when you eat animals, you have to grow plants that the animals eat, and then you kill the animals. So there's more killing. So Ian Watson, to tread lightly on the earth, try plant-based meals. It'd be better for yourself, your health, the animals, and the planet. Zeke says the cuter the animal, the tastier the meat. That's why lamb and veal is so good. What about chicken? It's a pretty bland. And in general, all meat you could say is pretty bland, and you have to do the seasoning. That's why you can have alternatives. Have you tried Indian food? So spicy and tasty. It's about the spices. So got to be creative. Got to try it. Be adventurous. Try it, please. So Alexandra says, I don't think being vegan is to find common ground. Yes, it is. I think we have common ground in protecting the environment, fighting climate change, animal protection, health, not getting heart disease. I think there's a lot of common ground, Alexander. There's so many comments. So sorry, I don't want to miss them, and I want to get some new comments here. So Crazy Cripples, great name, says you're not changing anyone's mind. There was somebody today early at the vigil, which Lori spoke to, and they got an aha moment. So it's not true. If doing nothing does no good. Doing something may not do any good, but at least you have a chance. So don't try to demotivate people that are doing activism. Are you sitting on your couch? Maybe get up. Maybe do something to make the world a better place. So Frankie says, humans raising of animals is the way to go. Yes, this country is overeating, but we shouldn't have to cut our meat altogether. Okay, well, thanks for that point of view, Frankie. That's interesting. Yeah, I personally am fully plant-based, but reducing the amount of meat that people are eating is definitely a step in the right direction. So thank you for your comment. Okay. So River says some people are fighting their conscience. That's true. I agree with you 100%. There's two trucks coming. So there's a truck here, and then there's a truck further down. Let's see what we have here. Hi, babies. Hi, pretty babies. They're so dirty, and they smell, but because they're in such confined conditions, it's so horrible. We love you. We love you. There's another truck coming. Thank you, Frankie, for your comment. Thank you for your comment, Frankie. I cut my pork down almost to nothing. I feel terrible for them. They're closest to human flesh, but once in a while I do like sausages and peppers. So, Frankie, thanks for your comment. Cutting down, you make a big difference. You're saving lives. And Frankie, just try some plant-based alternatives and like Beyond Meat. But personally, I would go for whole food, plant-based. Try to buy local, try to buy organic, try to support local farmers through CSAs, community-supported agriculture. Go to farmers markets. Let's do everything we can to make the world a better place. For humans, for other animals. We can do a lot. So Alexander left. Okay, well, thanks for joining us. Santa Truck says, get in my belly. What do you want in your belly? Why not? There's plant-based protein. No need to hurt other animals to get protein in your body. Hopper says, we love you. Yes, we do. Thank you. River 930 says vegan. USA says bacon. They're not objects. They're not, they're persons. They're individuals just like you. And they deserve respect just like you do. Everybody wants respect and love. And to live their life. Nobody wants to be killed. And you don't have to contribute to it. And you'll be happier, healthier, and more spiritually fulfilled for it. Anyway, Juha says, God bless you. Thank you. So Philly Steaks says, go home losers. Well, Philly Steak, you're not a loser if you're trying to help others. What would Jesus do? What would Gandhi do? Gandhi was a vegetarian. What would Martin Luther King do if he were alive today? The Burlington Food Bank just passed by. What is a loser in your view? Is a loser somebody who follows the golden rule and tries to help others? I mean, I assume you don't think of yourself as a loser. What do you do, Philly Steaks? What do you do to make the world a better place? So, do you support abortion, says Paka Guy. This question comes up a lot, and it's not our focus here today. But I certainly think that there should be more emphasis on birth control. And nobody wants to have an abortion. It's a horrible thing for everyone involved. So, support birth control. Support sort of the groups that advocate for it. Oh, there's a beautiful dog here.
Couldn't be healthier and happier. Thanks, man.
So we got a lot of people that are streaming, getting the word out to thousands of people. There we got a Jays fan. So for those who don't know, or from the United States, or might not be following, but Toronto Blue Jays are doing really well. So we have a lot of people here at this vigil from Toronto. So Omni TV says, why not free the dog? You get a problem with pigs in captivity. So I guess some people are against companion animals. Some groups take a position. But if they're rescues, do you feel the same way, Omni TV? If they're rescues, I certainly don't support, breeding of dogs. Okay, there's yet another truck that I missed. I didn't even know. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, sorry. So I just got to get to this truck. It's a Brussels truck. There's so many trucks. It's so sad. So here we go. Here's. So sorry. It's a red light still. Oh, we got it. Pig here. Hi, little angel. I love you. I love you, sweetheart. I wish you were free in a sanctuary. I love you. You're beautiful. You're a beautiful being. I love you. I love you lots. Angel. You're an angel. You're an angel. Sweet angel. Sweet little angel. beautiful eyelashes, beautiful ears, your beautiful snout. We love you lots. We love you. You're a sweet little being. I wish I could know you more. I love you. Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. So Travis says there's no pig sanctuary. There are lots of sanctuaries that have pigs. Lots of sanctuaries. One even nearby. I don't know if you've heard of Esther the Wonder Pig. Esther passed away a year ago or so. But Esther the Wonder Pig was in a nearby sanctuary. I had vegetarian chili for breakfast. Way to go. I had this great bread, sourdough bread, and chickpeas with like various or veganically grown vegetables. So a friend dropped by and dropped some like tomatoes and zucchini and pepper. Then I had flaxseed oil on it and Bragg's and vinegar. So I had an amazing veganic breakfast. There's no need to, you see that beautiful individual that we saw just moments ago? They're now turning into the slaughterhouse. I don't know if you can see in the distance there. I'm just going to zoom in. They're turning into the slaughterhouse. Oops, sorry. Those trucks are turning into the slaughterhouse. They go towards the back and they're unloaded into a pen area with electric prods. These innocent babies, electric prods. And then they're in this large pen area that are cordoned off into different areas. And it's like an asylum in there because the pigs are screaming their heads off. The ones that are being forced into a narrow chute, like a single file, and forced into this elevator that is like a Ferris wheel-like contraption that takes the pigs, a group of pigs, in each compartment down towards the basement because carbon dioxide is heavier than air. And then they gasp for air. They try to escape, but they can't. And they feel a lot of respiratory discomfort and they're suffering. And then 2 minutes later, some of them, most of them are stunned and unconscious, but some of them are not. Some of them are still kicking around, and then they're dropped out as the elevator goes back up in this Ferris wheel-like contraption. And then they're shackled, their back leg is shackled and by a worker. Then they're hung upside down, and again, some of them wake up or are still awake or conscious. And then a sticker slices their throat, and then the blood, to drain the pig of blood. So the reason that they don't kill them right away and they stun them is because they want the blood, the heart to still work to pump out the blood. That's why they do that stunning. They want them to still be alive, if unconscious, but in some cases conscious, so that their heart works and pumps out the blood. So it's all very calculated. They're treated like garbage, like a means, like a thing. None of us ever want to be treated that way, ever. All of us want to be treated like an end, like a being with intrinsic value. And so anyways, later they're moved along and they tend to go upward to another floor, and then they're put in a scalding tank to loosen their hair. So their hair is removed. Again, some of them wake up. And yeah, there's enormous suffering involved in all of this. And then they're sliced up, and sometimes shit contaminates the meat. So just Google shit, on meat in supermarkets. Just Google it. It's very common. So you're eating unhealthy, suffering, flesh, and it's hurting the planet, it's hurting the animals, it's hurting your health. So it's win-win-win to go plant-based. So please try it. Please try meat-free Mondays, plant-powered Fridays. Just try it and then spread the word. So River 930 says some people still fighting their conscience. Let's hope that everybody does have a conscience here, that they're not sociopaths or psychopaths, that they have the capability of understanding what, that killing is bad, that you have a natural instinct against killing. that there's a reason that the slaughterhouse has barbed wire. There's a reason that the slaughterhouse is not open to us. That there's a reason that the industry is so secretive, because they think that people do have a conscience, that people do care. I think that's their understanding, that people do care, have a conscience, so they try to hide the killing and the brutality. Yet another truck. It's just unbelievable, the number of trucks here. Thanks for joining the live stream. We really appreciate it. You being here, whether we agree or don't agree. Appreciate your comments. So Jacob says it's not secretive at all. Well, you know, this gas station or a factory, you know, these other places, they don't have barbed wire. There's a notice on the fence that says don't take, no cameras, don't take any filming. No filming, etc., etc. So, you know, I don't think that's true, Jacob. I think you know, no need to lie about it. The industry is very secretive. All right, so there's a truck coming now. So crowded in here, it's hard to. It's foaming at the mouth. It's very hot in here. I love you. I love you, little angel. I love you. I love you. You're beautiful. You're so beautiful. You're so good. You're so good. You're so beautiful. I love you. I wish I could take you on a love you so much. And you're here just above another pig. It's quite crowded in there. We love you very much. Very much. It's pretty tough here, eh? That was quite a few trucks today, this morning. So, thanks for everyone for joining us. We're here in front of a slaughterhouse. It's called Fearman's Pork Incorporated in Burlington, Ontario, Canada. So my name is Anita Kreintz, and I'm part of the Animal Save movement. We have like 300 chapters in more than 36 countries in the world, and we do these animal vigils in front of slaughterhouses to shine a spotlight on the animals and show that they're individuals, just like you and I, or your companion dog. And they want to live just like you and I do. And they have friends and family, and they have a mother and a father, and they have sisters, and they want to play, they want to live. So we just like to show you that. And ethics is at the center of this movement. It's about bearing witness, which is a moral duty. So in life, you can go about life and walk away when you see someone suffering, whether it's a human being or a non-human animal like a pig or cow or elephant or tiger or deer or any animal. So, you know, when you see someone suffering, you have a choice. You can look away or you can come close as you can, and try to help. So that's the definition of bearing witness. So when you see someone suffering or you see an injustice, you don't do the cowardly thing or the morally weak thing of looking away or just like, oh, I don't want to know. Oh, it's not my problem. Like, you do the right thing, which is you try to help. So imagine yourself when you're suffering. How do you feel when like nobody seems to care? Like nobody even cares about you, or how you're feeling, or how you're suffering, or if you're sick. You know, how would you feel? Like nobody wants that. Everybody wants love, compassion, community. Everybody wants that. Whether you're a human being, a part of the human species, or some other mammal, or a fish, or whatever life you are, You know, that's what everybody wants that. They want love and kindness, compassion, justice. And so this truck is, someone earlier on this chat said, they're not secretive. Well, if they were not secretive, why is this truck going so slow and not driving properly? Because they don't want you to see the animals in the truck. They don't want you, so I'll just get a shot of this guy. He's very cowardly in the driver. Most of the drivers were pretty good. This driver is like trying to hide. So I just think that's, you know, why is he doing that? How's it in his interest? It's pretty sad. Just to repeat, most of the drivers were pretty good today. So this, he has stopped now. So we're gonna see if we can see any animal. All right, I'm sorry I wasn't able to capture the pigs here. Sorry. River says, of course they want to live. A lot of get a job comments. I do have a job, thank you. I'm very privileged to work for Animal Save Movement. I feel very lucky to be able to work every day to fight for animal rights and fight for climate protection. And I'm going to do my best to get as many people as possible doing that, because that's meaningful work. Rivers, Rivers, this would be a whole different story if these were dogs. Yeah, great point, Rivers. 9:30, thank you for your comment. Yeah, there's dogs that have gone into, that were companion animals that were captured and put into trucks to go to a slaughterhouse, and that mobilized the movement in China to actually stop these trucks and then rescue the dogs. If you want to Google it, just look up Humane Society International and dog rescue in China. So yes, so that's a really good point. If it was dogs, people would feel different, certainly in this country and also in China, as people are having more and more companion animals and dogs and cats. It sparked a movement. I appreciate you all joining us. Thank you for joining us. We've been on live for an hour and 20 minutes. It's been a long live stream, and we've seen so many animals, so many pig trucks. 200 pigs are in each truck. There's 50 trucks a day that come to Fearman's Pork Incorporated, which is just across the street there. It's the biggest pig slaughterhouse in Ontario, and they use carbon dioxide gas chambers to stun the pigs. It's a very cruel method. It's like the pigs are suffocating and trying to escape, but they can't escape. It's really sad. So, I really appreciate you joining us. I'm probably gonna log off pretty soon. I just wanted to thank everyone, including people I disagree with. I appreciate you joining. Thanks for your time. Please just think about what's on your plate or who's on your plate every day, and make the best decision of your life. Like, one of the best decisions in my life was going vegetarian in the 90s and then vegan in 2005. So I've been vegan for 20 years. And another good decision in my life was standing up and not being silent, and helping form groups like this one, Toronto Pig Safe. So we formed Toronto Pig Safe with my dog, Mr. Bean, in late 2010. So we've been doing these vigils for 15 years now. And they've spread all over the world. So there's 300 chapters. So if you go to animalsavemovement.org website, you can check out the groups. You can join a vigil. In the Netherlands, they have an agreement with the slaughterhouse where the slaughterhouse provides the water and people are able to safely bear witness. So in that case, it's a slaughterhouse called Boxtel. So and the group is called Boxtel Pig Safe. So in the Netherlands and in the UK, the United Kingdom, a number of our chapters have agreements with the slaughterhouse so that they can safely bear witness. We've never been able to get an agreement with this slaughterhouse. It's owned by a billionaire, not very nice. We wrote to him and said, can we have a safety agreement? And he sends his lawyers a lawyer's letter to us and says, do not contact us. Of course we can, anybody can contact anyone, can send a letter. And we were sending a letter to ask for a safety agreement. And in 2020, in June, Regan Russell was run over by a pig transport truck just at the next set of lights where the trucks turn in. She was 65 years old. She was Mrs. Canada, so like Mrs. Canada in a pageant. She was a model. She was an animal activist since the late 70s. She was an incredible woman. She joined, Black Lives Matter protest in Hamilton. She was part of the women's rights movement. And she got run over after she was giving water to pigs on a hot June day. And when the vigil was over, she had a green light, so she had right away, but the pig truck accelerated and ran her over and dragged her like, a couple dozen feet. It was very tragic for everybody, family. Her parents are in their 90s now, and they've come to these vigils, so they want to carry the legacy. Her partner is across the street. That's Mark, and he's holding her sign. That's the sign that she had at these vigils. And her legacy lives on. So she's inspired a lot of people to become active. So so that's Regan Russell. On our website, Animal Safe Movement, you can read about her. And again, that's her husband, so I'll just show you. That's Mark Russell. That's her sign. We are their voice. That's very powerful. So thank you, Mark, for being here. It's been a very moving vigil. I really appreciate all of you here. So, okay, I love you too, Rivers 9030. Love my fellow vegans, and I love even the non-vegans. And I think love thy neighbor. And even Leo Tolstoy, he understood the concept of love thy enemy, which sounds very difficult. Can you imagine loving your enemy? And so Leo Tolstoy, sorry, it's very noisy right here, so just give me a second. Just give me a second. How do you guys feel about the concept of love thy enemy? But Leo Tolstoy in his book, I'm trying to think of the right book where he described it. Oh yeah, it was in a book called My Religion or What I Believe. Leo Tolstoy was a famous writer. He wrote War and Peace. But he was an ethical vegetarian for the last 30 years of his life. And so Leo Tolstoy said that Jesus in the Gospels had these various principles like love thy neighbor, don't be angry, don't swear. What he meant by swear is like an oath to the judiciary if they're doing things that are wrong, like going to war and conscription. But he also said that Jesus said love thy enemy. So how do you guys feel about that? Love thy enemy. And he explained it. He said that love thy neighbor in the Old Testament, it concerned people of your own community or your nation. And so Jesus said love thy enemy. That what he meant by that is foreigners. So it's a bigger vision of love thy enemy, which is it's a bigger picture of love thy neighbor. Basically means love everyone in the world. So that's what he meant by love thy enemy. So my love extends to everyone here, and thanks for joining, and please join us at a vigil, and check out our website animalsafemovement.org and subscribe. Take care.